Okay, so welcome Region 4. I'm Jared File. I am here to introduce your Regional Transportation Director, Heather Paddocks.
Awesome, thanks Jared. We're trying to figure out the timing of this recording, so we're gonna get creative in how we start these videos, but today's creativity was the introduction of myself. Just wanted to hit on a few things. I've got Rich Christy as our guest RLT member to give a project highlight today. But just wanted to follow up on some of the conversation that we had last week regarding our budget. Wanted to let you know that Shoshana Liu and a lot of the executive management team members are taking a deep dive into our asset management program. You know, we all know that every, CDOT, as well as every other state organization, as well as the local municipalities and cities and counties, everyone's getting hit by this pandemic, and we're all having to take a look into our budget and how we're spending those dollars. And one of the things that we're doing is looking at our asset management program and looking at how we select projects and what that process looks like. We have 10 different assets that we have asset managers on, and we focus, and we have programs specifically for. And we have been giving presentations, not myself, but the asset managers have been giving presentations to Shoshana and our executive management on how projects are selected and what that process looks like to meet those performance metrics set by either federal guidelines or state criteria. So that's what we're working on, and more will unfold here in probably the months of July and August as to, as we look at sort of some base program hits. We talked a lot about 267, but the base program, we do anticipate a shortfall in the gas tax revenue. It's anticipated about $50 million this coming fiscal year, and how are we going to make up for that? And so we are looking in every area of CDOT's organization to see where we can make those savings. So be looking forward. I fully intend to give a report out in the months to come as far as how we're going to overcome some of those shortfalls. And again, for our base program, yes, 50 million is a big hit, but it is, it's not so huge that we can't find new ways and efficient ways to do our same business just more efficiently and effectively. So I don't think we're going to see significant hits in any one area, but sort of a small hits across the board. And so I'll be sharing more with that. But I do know we had a question that came in about 267. I'm going to let Jared ask that question.
Yeah, so we did get a question. Basically, they're saying they read an article about the 267 funds and the windfall for the I-25 project. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so, there is no windfall of money. Wouldn't that be nice? But the good news is that last week, the second tranche of 267 did get awarded. It's actually in our bank and ready to be expended. What's unique about that is because the interest rates are so low, additional premium was available. So there was about 109 million, I think, just over 100 million. About 45 of that went to other state organizations, and about 59 million of that 100 plus came to CDOT. And what that's doing is allowing us to continue that add back exercise. As Shoshana has been planning for, we're going to plan for the worst and hope for the best, and we will need a process to add projects back on the list. This is $59 million that, no, it's no windfall. We were always anticipating some sort of premium due to the interest rates, but we have that ability now to add back another $59 million worth of projects. Again, that's statewide, that's not at Region 4 level. We do have a lot of grants in the hopper, and so the intent and the proposal to commission is going to be to preserve a lot of those funds specifically for those grants, assuming we are successful. So, as we talk about how our project's going to get delivered, I was on an interesting call today with Commuting Solutions, which is a group kind of run out of the Boulder area, and it's got a lot of the mayors and commissioners. But they had obviously Shoshana and Rebecca kind of give an update on our status and our financial situation, as well as I heard RTD give an update. And, you know, everyone's feeling it. And so how are projects going to get done in the future? Well, it's going to get done through partnerships. Our projects, most of our projects are not funded by a single source of money. They're typically not just funded by, say, surface treatment or by bridge. It's always a combination of multiple colors of money, and partnerships and are huge. And our locals, specifically in Region 4, I think step up really, really well in prioritizing the projects that mean the most, and they put their money where their mouth is. And they, you know, as stated numerous times on I-25, local communities put in $56 million towards that project. The project that Rich is going to talk about is the Hudson Interchange. This is a long waited job. It's been in the works for a very long period of time. And again, this does not have one color of money, but it has multiple colors of money that we're able to make this project a success. And one of the unique things that Johnny put in play prior to his departure was when it comes to the RPP color of money, which is the regional program, prioritized program. Now I'm getting the RPP. Karen Schneiders can answer that because it's not rolling off the tip of my tongue. But basically, it's really the only money that the regions get that is flexible. You don't have to meet a match as far as its surface treatment. It doesn't have to go to a failing bridge with a sufficiency rating less than 50. But statewide, every year, it's $50 million. So Region 4 gets 11 of those dollars, $11 million. 2 off the top go to our interstates. And then the other 9 million get dispersed amongst the 4 TPRs. Well, what the TPR chairs realize is when you divvy that up in about $2 million to $3 million per TPR, you can't get a big project done. So what we are starting this fiscal year is rotating that $9 million through each TPR over the next 4 years. So this project kicks off upper fronts range is RPP dollars for this first $9 million in FY21 to get this project done. And otherwise, this interchange would not get done. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Rich.
All right, thank you, Heather. Yeah, I'm going to try sharing the PowerPoint that Nikki Upright just used recently. Sounds like there's still pretty strong echo.
Good.
So with the pandemic response, right, we're not doing as many public meetings these days. So Nikki gave, at least the first one in the central program, a pre-recorded message for, you know, to kick off the job as a public meeting. So I'm utilizing a lot of her slides here, and I'll try to go through them quickly, but just wanted to point out from our office up there in the upper center piece of this map, Hudson's about a 45-minute drive from the headquarter office. And it's at the crossroads of Highway 52 and I-76. It's a major trucking hub, and we'll see that here shortly. I'll stay here on the overview map and kind of describe the project, because this shows everything all in one place. On the left side of the screen, you'll see a roundabout, and we'll talk about roundabout number 1 here, and some of the partnerships that the design team worked and really fostered with our oversized and overweight permits. And then you'll see some access control measures through the center between the 2 roundabouts, and one of our interchange ramp terminals will be another roundabout, and the other one will be a signalized intersection. But some of the things that have happened over time here in Hudson is a Love's truck stop was built, and Best Western Hotel both went in there on the upper side of the photo here, kind of in the northeast side of that stretch of roadway. And this is the transition piece. Highway 52 is rural, it's high speed, and you would just come up on the town off of a curve and all of a sudden hit this very popular truck stop. And so as the crashes began to increase, faster safety funding was identified to be able to put into this project and really try to transition that high-speed traffic into this area as they approach the interchange. So with roundabout number 1, most of the things going on there are related to the safety aspects. to be able to merge slow-speed trucks and high-speed vehicles here at this intersection. This is, I believe it's one of the largest or the largest roundabout that's going to be built in Colorado. It's almost a 200 or over 200-foot diameter. And there's a really good reason for that. Not only is there a lot of trucks and a lot of freight coming off the interstate or off 52, but they get on a regular basis those large windmill blades coming through this area. So that was a big piece of the design. Those designers that are watching know that we would typically use a WB67 vehicle for our normal design vehicle here at an interchange. And what that means is that the wheelbase is 67 feet from front wheel axle to the back axle. And this is the truck you would see most commonly out on the highway. It's the 53-foot trailer that you see. And I put a car in there just for some scale. But the design vehicle that this team used, working with our oversized overweight permits group, is the ones that transport those windmill blades. So you can see just by the scale alone, it's quite a bit bigger. The trailer's 137 feet long. And in fact, when you put the blades on these things, it's 241 feet from the front bumper to the tip of the blade. So that's about 3 1/3, over 3 of our typical design vehicles stacked bumper to bumper. And to try to get that not only through the roundabout, but through the this access controlled piece between roundabouts, took quite a bit of additional effort. The design team took that on. They used custom vehicles with auto turn to put it through here. They're utilizing careful placement of signs. They're using low profile curbs so that when the truck does need to go over there, it's very expensive cargo, won't be damaged. So in between the two roundabouts, this project will install a sidewalk. It's got not only sidewalk, but some access control to help the safety aspects. And so you can put on either end of this piece of road the roundabouts so that access to the businesses involves very little out of direction travel. And you can get to that new hotel, you can get to the Love's truck stop, and you can get to the neighborhood on the south side of this picture, and including mid-block crossings and a number of features that enhance the multimodal aspect of it, pedestrians and bikes. So this new sidewalk is carrying up to the bridge. The second roundabout here is not quite as large as the first one. I think it's more on the 140-foot diameter range, but still big enough to accommodate the interstate traffic at this junction. On the bridge itself, the bridge is widening and the sidewalk is being relocated from the, I'll call it the south half of the bridge to the north half, really making a much better connection for the rest of the town's sidewalks. And the sidewalk aspect of it is another partnership that we have on the job. Almost $1 million of money is coming from a grant that the town won with the multimodal options funding and their TAP funds. And the town is throwing in $200,000 to match that to connect to the rest of the sidewalks and trails network in town. And so relocating the sidewalk to the north half of the bridge really ties all that together. And then also watching Nikki's her public information video the other day, I heard that this will also be at the other intersection, will be the first signalized intersection in the town of Hudson. So quite a few firsts, everything from our public meeting to the roundabouts to the signalized intersection. And Jared, hopefully we can get a link to the video so that other people can get an idea of what it's like to give these public meetings virtually, pre-recorded types of videos. There's certainly a new aspect to it. Here's the contact information for the project's website if you are interested. The project was awarded to Castle Rock Construction for just under $12 million. They're just getting started. Trailers are up. I went out and visited the project site yesterday, and they'll have power and communications any day now, and we'll be breaking ground, doing some grading next week.
So
great.
Rich, that's great, and we will have the project video posted on there, and really encouraging other projects as you're looking at doing public meetings. The way that Nikki did her presentation was perfect, and I think gives a lot of good information to people who would normally be coming to those public meetings.
And Jared, I'll add one other thing. Hearing the successes from this team's outreach with oversized overweight and doing it early and getting it built into the project and how successful that was, I think we really need to make that a routine practice as we go into our scoping meetings, finding out just what types of vehicles typically pull permits and go through those sites and get that built into the design from the beginning.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rich. And thanks for hitting on that. You know, oversized overweight, they do play a big role, especially in Region 4. We've got probably just as many, if not more, freight corridors than any other region. And so if you're having those scoping projects and you haven't called oversized overweight, you need to do so now. Even if you know you haven't and you're going to add, you should still be calling oversized overweight. As you know, we try to do our best, and they are trying to come up with a streamlined process to make sure that we only have to make one call in construction and everybody gets that updated information. But as you know, sometimes things don't work as smoothly as we would like. And sometimes our construction closures, or maybe our narrowed lane widths, or maybe our detour routes specifically, or night closures, do not get to our oversized overweight. And they definitely don't get to those people who have annual permits. Because some of those with annual permit holders, they don't call in and get a defined route. For those who get a single permit just to come in, all of those detour routes are flagged. And so when they say we're going to be in this 5-day window, our oversized overweight group can notify what construction they're going to encounter and if there's a detour route. But for those annual permit holders, a lot of times they are not notified. And so they are working on sort of a GIS layer and sort of a base that when a commercial vehicle drives into this zone, they will get notified of any detours or construction impacts that may impact their oversized overweight route. So good things going on in that group. I'm pretty happy with the outreach that they've made recently and the progress that they've been making down at headquarters. And you reemphasized how they are a support group to us. And you know, we are the ones that deliver those projects, but we do need their support. They got a lot of data, and they can give you, you know, 5 years worth of oversized overweight permits pulled on your project in 24 hours. So that is a good resource, and you guys should be using it. So we were going to wrap up this video. I want to remind everyone, keep sending in your UROCs, especially now. It is just a great time to hear that everybody's still really working hard and everybody's still doing great things, even though, you know, you can't give someone a high five in the hall or, you know, walk over their cube and say good job. I think us reading it, or me recognizing it on these chats are a way to say thanks and great work to your peers. Also, another great way to do that is through the coffee chat. So on Thursday, we will have another coffee chat at 10 a.m. And it'll be, the Zoom will be, the link will be on our News for You website. And this topic is bring your pets to the chat. So, you know, we don't typically bring our pets to work. That is our policy, because everyone has different allergies, and, you know, we don't need this to be like a little zoo inside of the interchange, but it is great that we can all get online with our pets. So bring your pets and, you know, take a 20-minute coffee break at 10 o'clock this Thursday. And with that, have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the very Colorado weather that we're having, from, you know, 95 degrees on Sunday to being on snow shift Monday night. So, you know, and road closures this morning. No place like Colorado to extreme all this, you know, to live all the seasons in a 24-hour period. So with that, have a great day.